So yeah, a little bit more about me. I've been an entrepreneur on Maui since 2013, and Cloud Nalu since was birthed in 2016, and we were focused on helping small businesses with their tech integration needs. I worked for the Department of Education for some time, and just have helped a bunch of small businesses integrate with technology and develop their business's practice based on those new technology integrations. I've been an Ethereum developer, but for the last year have been focused solely on Bitcoin development, especially on the Lightning Network. So yeah, again, I talked about Cloud Nalu, so I think we can move on now. Hopefully that's all clear. So why do people invest in crypto? This is one of the things we'll be talking about today. We'll be talking about best practices and the different ways to invest in crypto and how to get help, who to ask for help. You're here to talk Bitcoin and crypto. I am not a financial advisor. It's important to understand that. I do have recommendations for who you can seek out help with, from everything from taxes to how to use your trust or your retirement account to invest in crypto. But I cannot advise you on such things. I can't recommend any particular cryptocurrency. That's that. So this is not financial advice. So yeah, I know there's some of you that are new to crypto and cryptocurrencies. So we'll go over what cryptocurrency is first. We've had digital currency for quite some time, but cryptocurrency is more a recent evolution of money. And we talk about cryptocurrency, we're referring to really a type of digital currency in which transactions are verified and records are maintained by cryptography rather than a centralized authority. So the records of the cryptocurrency are maintained on a decentralized blockchain. You might have heard of blockchain technology. And this blockchain can be this distributed ledger so that no centralized authority has control over the blockchain or control over the cryptocurrency. So this is what makes cryptocurrencies special. And
hey, Liam, sorry to interrupt. Are you switching or changing your slides because we're still seeing the first screen?
Oh, sure. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I am changing my slides. How about that?
No, it's not. It's not showing up on my side.
Oh,
okay, now here we go. Yes, it works now.
Oh,
I think there's a lag, so it's still on the slide that says not financial advice.
All right. How about this slide? Did the slide change?
Not yet. I think there might be a lag.
Huh. Cool. I'll stop screen sharing and I'll just restart. See if that helps. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It happens. Okay, here we go. Now I'm seeing the slide that says cryptocurrency, and I'm seeing slide 4, but there's no text yet coming out.
All right, how about now?
Not yet.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm seeing the slide that says digital currency secured by centralized authorities.
All right, I'm going to restart my notes here and see if that helps.
I'm seeing slide 4. Okay, this is slide 3.
All right, changed?
Yes,
All right, now we're changing. All right, sweet. Move on. Thank you for your patience. So we talked about, so these cryptocurrencies are verified on a blockchain, and most notably Bitcoin's blockchain, for some awesome reasons. So going back, we've had these digital dollars for quite some time, but these digital dollars are really records stored by our credit cards and our bank accounts or our banking providers. And they're controlled by our banking institutions and governments. But in 2009, along came Bitcoin. And Bitcoin was really created to be the first scarce asset for the digital world. So it's not controlled by a centralized party or government. And it uses cryptography and the hashing algorithm. And with that, you can prove that you own and control the Bitcoin that you own and control using private keys. And we talked about that last time using our last webinar on cryptocurrency wallets. And in particular, we set up a Bitcoin wallet using your own private keys and kind of demoed that. And with these private keys, you can, again, own this digital property. And that's what makes Bitcoin so important and such an important idea, is that you can own your own wealth without needing a centralized or third party to let you control that wealth or potentially be censored by it or allow your wealth to be hacked. So with Bitcoin, if you control your own private keys, you control your own Bitcoin. And that's what's so special about Bitcoin. So it's really this open source monetary network that you can have this digitally native, digitally scarce asset on. And it cannot be controlled by or banned or censored by any third party or government. And this provides a lot of value to people in the world that may not be banked or have access to traditional banking rails, or people that are worried about their government issuing or printing fiat currencies too quickly and maybe being irresponsible with that. And that can cause currencies to what's called debase or lose value, and inflation to rise. So, and those are generally some reasons that people are looking to invest in cryptocurrencies, and in particular, investing in Bitcoin, because it's this really digitally scarce asset that a lot of people believe provides you a hedge against that potential inflation. So we'll talk a little bit more about why people are investing in crypto. Well, again, a hedge against inflation. For speculative reasons, so people think the price will go up for a particular digital asset or cryptocurrency. And number 3, for transactions online. So any need for people to have rails to banking, a way to save, or if people want to generate yield on their cryptocurrency investments, this is another reason why people are investing. So there's Bitcoin again, and then there's these like 9,000 other cryptocurrency projects out there, and we have a webinar coming up on that, I think in about a month or a few weeks. And these cryptocurrencies all have different properties and use cases and marketing strategies. So it's important to do your own research when looking at a different cryptocurrency project. And you might want to stay away from just investing in something just because one of your friends told you about it and was excited about it, or some YouTuber was excited about it. If you're putting your money into something like this, it's really important to understand what you're getting into and be wary of where you're getting your info from. So we have a few different properties of cryptocurrencies, and we can look at each of these properties when evaluating a particular cryptocurrency project. And the first one is its scarcity. So is this cryptocurrency scarce? Is it provably scarce? Is there some mathematic algorithm behind the cryptocurrency protocol that makes sure that the asset is digitally scarce? Is its scarcity enforced, or could some of the developers that created the cryptocurrency just print or create more crypto and thus devalue your own cryptocurrency holdings of that particular crypto? And we talked about Bitcoin and how it's provably digitally scarce, and that really gives it a lot of value to people. Not all cryptocurrencies are digitally scarce. For example, Dogecoin, there are continued to be an unlimited amount of Dogecoin mined every day, and similar to Ethereum as well. Ethereum is not digitally scarce. People will continue to mine more and more Ethereum. And there's many other cryptocurrencies that are not digitally scarce. So that's a good question to ask. Second, the distribution of its blockchain. So we have this blockchain, this digital ledger in crypto that is the record of all transactions and record of that cryptocurrency. And it's important to ask, is this distributed ledger, is this blockchain controlled by a centralized party? Or is it distributed amongst the network? And how distributed is that network is an important question to ask. Third, is the team behind this project, if it's a centralized project, is the team somebody you can trust? Who has control over this blockchain? Who has control over the smart contract that issues the cryptocurrency? So that's a good question to ask. Next, is it auditable? Is this project audited? So there's firms out there, especially when you get into decentralized finance and Ethereum-based cryptocurrencies. There's firms out there that can look at a project, look at a smart contract, look at a cryptocurrency, and audit it. And these are generally really well-regarded developers that can look at a blockchain, look at a smart contract, and audit whether it's safe and secure, and if it does what the developers that created the cryptocurrency or the smart contract says it's gonna do. So you can ask, is it auditable? Or has it been audited? And finally, has it been pre-mined? So often when you have a new cryptocurrency issued, it has often been what's called pre-mined. So mining has occurred before it's been issued to the public. And when this happens, you generally have a small group of people that own a lot of the cryptocurrency because they were able to pre-mine it before the rest of the public or the blockchain was able to be mined by everybody else. And this is something to consider as well, because those people that mined it first might have a lot of the cryptocurrency, and they could easily dump it on the newcomers to the cryptocurrency project. So this is another thing to look at. Again, Bitcoin scarcity is really important because it's probably the most important property when you're looking at the scarcity is probably the most important property when looking at a particular cryptocurrency project. And Bitcoin scarcity is written into the code of the Bitcoin protocol. So it's mathematically verifiable and created out of the code of the Bitcoin protocol. It's enforced by the Bitcoin network, so no one person or institution can change the rules of Bitcoin. And there's a fixed supply. We know it's a fixed supply because we can look at either the Bitcoin white paper or the blockchain itself and see that it's only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be produced. About 89% has already been mined or issued. And we can see that the entire ledger and how each transaction is on that ledger. And we can see where Bitcoin is and how it's divisible amongst each of the public addresses on that ledger. And within your cryptocurrency wallet or within your Bitcoin wallet, it's important to understand that your Bitcoin is divisible into tiny amounts or Satoshis. So you don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin. You can buy a small fraction of Bitcoin denominated in Satoshis or sats often. And finally, this ledger, this Bitcoin's blockchain, is completely transparent. So anybody can look at it. It's an open ledger, and it's also open source. And this isn't true for every other cryptocurrency out there. It's maybe true for some of them, but for many of them, it's not. So best practices when looking at cryptocurrency projects and investing in crypto. So these are best practices that are generally encouraged by people who've been around the space for a while, investing in crypto for a while. So I'll just go over some of them. You should never invest more than you're afraid to lose. So people make mistakes in crypto, and it's important to understand there's generally nobody that can help you recover your cryptocurrency if you lose it or if the exchange that you have that cryptocurrency held on gets hacked. There's no FDIC insurance in crypto. So it's important to understand that if you're putting your money into a project and you're leaving it on an exchange, there's a considerable risk to that cryptocurrency, to you losing that cryptocurrency. There's a considerable risk to any exchange out there or smart contract that could potentially be hacked, and you could lose access to your cryptocurrency. You can control your own private keys to many cryptocurrencies. It's pretty challenging or impossible to control your own private keys and run your own node for most cryptocurrency projects. But for Bitcoin, and this is where we help with Cloud Nalu, is you can easily control your own private keys and custody your own Bitcoin. And we help you through that process. So that most people think that, you know, if I'm controlling my own private keys and if I'm custodying my own crypto, I know that I'm not going to get hacked. So they feel more comfortable with that. But there's trade-offs to both. So we talked about controlling your own keys and the importance of this last time, but I'll just kind of review some of it one more time. So again, if you don't control your own keys to your Bitcoin, somebody else does, and that could be the exchange, that could be a wallet that you have your Bitcoin on, but it's important to understand the trade-offs of that. It might be easier to let somebody else control your own private keys to your Bitcoin, but if that exchange or that wallet suffers from a hack, then you could lose access to your Bitcoin. So we're just going to review really quickly on how private keys work. So we have the Bitcoin blockchain, this immutable ledger that anyone and everyone can read and look at and understand. Again, it's completely transparent, open, verifiable. You can easily look up the entire history of the blockchain and every little single transaction. where every little piece of Bitcoin is. And we have wallets that you use to access your Bitcoin on the blockchain. And each of these wallets consists of a public key. You can think of this as your like home address to your Bitcoin, and private key. You can think of this as your way to control your Bitcoin. And you can definitely share your public key with other people. If you ever want to withdraw cryptocurrency from an exchange, you'll have to share your public key to your wallet with that cryptocurrency exchange to tell them, you know, I want to withdraw my Bitcoin from you guys to my own custody, my own wallet. And here's the public address of that wallet. And then you have your private key, which you should never share with anyone. And we talked about that last time, so I won't go too much into that. But again, you have this wallet that you use to secure and manage your Bitcoin, and it uses a public and a private key to do that for you. Next, you want to source from a good crypto provider. So we are a Bitcoin brokerage, Cloud Nalu. There's other Bitcoin brokerages out there. There's many different properties of cryptocurrency exchanges or brokerages out there. And you really want to understand some of the differences between these providers. You want to be careful of just focusing on fees. So each of these providers generally has some sort of fee associated with their service. And those fees can be a deposit fee. You'll have withdrawal fees, and then you'll have trading fees. If you're buying cryptocurrency with a credit card, that would incur generally a different fee than depositing US dollars or buying Bitcoin with your US dollars through your bank account. So you'll have different fees for using a credit card, using a bank account, using a wire transfer. And it's important to check out their fee schedule for that. But don't just focus on fees solely, because there's many other properties of these crypto providers that you should consider. And one of them is who they share your data with and how they share your data. So especially in this space, you want to be careful about, you want to value your own privacy. And if a brokerage or a service provider is sharing your data with other third parties or exchanges, or advertising marketing firms, you want to be very careful of that, because you don't want to be spammed all the time. You don't want to have all your data about your cryptocurrencies out there. And on that note as well, you want to be careful about sharing your cryptocurrency info or your cryptocurrency transactions on social media. You don't want to bloat about your cryptocurrency holdings on Facebook. You can be, it can be a good reason for somebody to try to figure out how to get into your email account, try to hack you, and that sort of thing. So it's best to just keep as much info as you can private. And be mindful of the privacy that a provider offers. So some questions to ask your provider. Can I withdraw cryptocurrency to my own custody and control? So not every crypto provider or exchange offers this. And that's a good question to ask, because if it's just a ledger, you know, if your holdings are just a ledger on their ledger, then you don't really own that cryptocurrency. You don't own that Bitcoin if they're controlling the keys to it and you're just a row on their database. Next, Does the exchange trade against its users? So this is unfortunately kind of common practice in the industry, is that, you know, we have these websites, these exchanges, and it's pretty easy for them to look at the analytics of that website. And when a bunch of users are coming in and it looks like they're going to buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, they could spike the price artificially on their website, sell a bunch of cryptocurrency to their users when they're all active on their website, and then shortly thereafter reduce the price again. So that's trading against their own users. You want to be careful or mindful of that, especially if you're getting into margin trading. Next, you want to be careful of so you can do what's called reoccurring buys with cryptocurrency pretty easily. Many exchanges offer this, where you're automatically buying cryptocurrency at you know, a certain amount of cryptocurrency, let's say every week. And this is generally accepted as a good way to do what's called dollar cost averaging into crypto. And it's important to understand that some of these exchanges or providers that offer that, they might say, you know, we have reduced fees for if you're doing reoccurring buys with your US dollars into crypto. And it's often the case where they'll say they have reduced fees, but then the spread, again, they might increase the amount or the cost of that cryptocurrency during the 1 hour of that one particular day where they do all their reoccurring buy orders on the exchange. So it's really best to, if you're doing reoccurring buys, it's generally better to just manage and do it yourself rather than do one of those continuous reoccurring buys listed by a provider. So if you can just say, you know what, every Monday I'm going to log into my account and I'm going to do a purchase of $1,000 of Bitcoin every Monday, and I'll manage that myself. And generally, you can get a better deal on that. Next. So are my crypto assets rehypothecated or loaned out or traded? So rehypothecation is quite common in the traditional banking industry, where you deposit your US dollars into a bank account, and then that bank has the ability to loan out that money and make its own loans based on your deposit. In crypto, there's similar products or similar ways that exchanges can make money. And one of this is the rehypothecation of your digital assets. So if that bank is rehypothecating digital assets, it's a risk to you because that bank could potentially, or that crypto provider could potentially default on or somehow screw up their loans. And that's another way that your crypto could be, you could lose access to it, or it could just vanish from the exchanges that rehypothecate assets. So we at Cloud Nalu, we actually hold your Bitcoin in a trust account where you have 100% control of that. It's in your name and we don't touch it. Your Bitcoin assets are not rehypothecated. And there are other services providers out there that hold their crypto and Bitcoin on their exchanges in a 100% manner where they're not rehypothecated. So it's important to, that's another property that's important to look at. So we kind of talked about the fee schedule, but again, main ones are deposit fees and your trading fees. So most exchanges operate somewhere between like 1% to 1.5% or more for a deposit fee for a ACH transfer. But on top of that, they might add like a processing fee For credit card transactions, they might add a credit card processing fee on top of that. So it's important to fully understand all the fees involved for your transaction with that provider. And that should be easily accessible on their website. Most exchanges have that in their support section of their website, and you can look it up. So Cloud Nalu in particular, we actually don't. We charge very, very, very low fees, lower fees than pretty much any other crypto or Bitcoin provider in the space. The reason being is we actually are a business based on our services that we offer. So when you come to us, you buy Bitcoin for almost free, but if you'd like our services, which most people find very valuable, those are the services you pay for through our business. Next are they regulated in Hawaii. So we have the Digital Currency Innovation Lab, the DCIL, and that's a cohort of I think 15 companies that are allowed to provide these services, these cryptocurrency services to people and businesses in Hawaii. So not every exchange or services provider out there offers help to Hawaii-based residents and businesses. So before you really start researching or getting into one, that's probably a good place to go. Is just like, number one, can I sign up if I'm a resident of Hawaii? And then if you can, then go through the list of all these other questions. Next, we talked a little bit about this, but privacy. How does the exchange manage your private data, and do they share or sell it with third-party providers? So I don't think we can actually sign up with Robinhood in the US, but they were one company where people have been in the past critical, at least, of the way that they may share their data with third parties. I have to be a little bit careful about how I share that info. But next, registration and requirements for signing up. So you can sign up. The difference between signing up for yourself or a business is pretty different. And you can't sign up your business with every exchange out there. So you might want to sign up yourself or your trust or your family office. You can do that with some providers. You can't do that with other providers. With Cloud Nalu, we do help you sign up easily if you're a business or an institution like a family office or trust. And we work with various ERISA attorneys to help you sign up as a retirement account, even if you want. So you can sign up as an institution with Cloud Nalu. I can't speak the same for every other cryptocurrency provider out there. And then looking at the requirements of signing up. So most exchanges require that you at some point upload your ID and verify yourself, either your driver's license or your passport. So it's important to understand how that exchange is then storing that data and that your driver's license and your passport. So you want to be careful about that. I can say that we at Cloud Nalu, so when you upload your private data, your passport, your driver's license with us, we actually hold that for 180 days, and then we redact it from our servers so that, it's just like the best, the most secure way we can manage that sensitive private data for you. Generally, it's, I think most people, again, that have been in crypto for a while would say that, for the vast majority of people, you want to stay away from active day trading and margin trading. This is where most people lose their money in crypto. I've heard it's like 90% of people that get into this stuff, get into day trading or margin trading, lose their funds. So for most people, it's better to just buy and hold as an investment, rather than trying to pay attention to, is this a bull? Is this a bear? Is this going up? Is this going down? And trying to manage that, because again, you have a lot of other factors dealing with or potentially affecting your trades, such as the exchange trading against you, other bigger players, bigger whales coming in and using their own assets to trade against you, or to manipulate the market. So it's generally best to just stay away from all that. Next, trading courses and YouTube crypto experts. So there's a lot of that out there. You have to be mindful of the fact that a lot of these YouTube crypto experts are there to try to get you to subscribe and make their money off of YouTube views and that sort of thing. So they can get quite like emotional about their knowledge or their trading advice. And it's important to at least take this with a grain of salt, understanding that these people aren't really looking out for your best interests. They're just trying to get you to subscribe and sign up to maybe their trading course or their special trading algorithm. These are some of the things that they try to sell. And it's important to understand that and at least be wary of it. So I have a funny image here of a bunch of the YouTube placeholder images when you're looking up various YouTube crypto experts. So just be wary of these guys. Next, be mindful and keep track of your tax liabilities. So a common misconception in Bitcoin in particular is that it's somehow private and your transactions are private on Bitcoin. And it's really not the case, because we have this completely open, transparent ledger, and it's actually quite easy for organizations to monitor your Bitcoin movements. And it's quite easy to see that when your Bitcoin goes on an exchange and it's linked up to your profile on that exchange, it would be very just easy to see that that's a taxable event, because you're potentially selling your Bitcoin for US dollars. So I am not a tax attorney, but I can tell you that Bitcoin transactions from US dollars, Bitcoin transactions from Bitcoin to US dollars, from Bitcoin to another asset, or using Bitcoin as a medium exchange is a taxable event. So you should track your tax liabilities using a service such as Zenledger, TaxBit, or CryptoTrader.tax. We at Cloud Nalu can help you do this easily. With other exchanges, you generally are liable to, of course, do that your own self. It's not super easy, but it's possible. And especially if you're actively trading, you should definitely consider and keep track of your tax liabilities, because you don't want to be hit with a huge tax liability at the end of the year and not expect it. Yeah, again, we at Cloud Nalu can help you with that. And just be mindful of that. Each transaction for another piece of digital property is a taxable event. And each transaction, when you sell your Bitcoin, is a taxable event, a capital gains event. Moving on. So we have ways to invest in cryptocurrencies. So you can invest as an individual. This is the easiest way to invest in cryptocurrencies. So this would be going to an exchange, signing up as an individual, and making your investments, and using your current income to pay for those investments. And then taxing or keeping track of your tax liabilities for those investments. Next, you can invest as a Bitcoin or a business, excuse me, as an LLC or a crypto or a corporation. And we at Cloud Nalu can help walk you through putting Bitcoin on your balance sheet if you're a business or a corporation in Hawaii. And again, it's for many businesses that have, extra cash flow or just want to use Bitcoin, the network, because they understand the value of it, being that it's transparent and easily verifiable, and you can control your own private keys on the network and thus control your own wealth. For a lot of businesses, that's a very valuable thing. So that's something to consider, a way to invest. If you have a business or and you want to put Bitcoin on your balance sheet, we can help you do that. You can invest in crypto as a trust or a family office. So this would be signing up to that Bitcoin or brokerage service provider or exchange as a trust or your family office. So usually you have a trust agreement, and you can use that trust agreement to sign up as your family office or trust. Again, we at Cloud Nalu help walk you through that. And that's a good way to keep your cryptocurrency assets, safe and secure to pass on to either the next generation or whoever else in the event of your passing. And finally, you can invest in crypto through your retirement account. So particularly with us, we have a lot of people coming to us looking to invest in Bitcoin for their retirement account, because they see Bitcoin as an asset that's designed to appreciate over time. And historically, it's actually been the best performing asset you could possibly invest in, or asset class you could possibly invest in the last 10 years. So we have a lot of people wondering how to do that. We can easily help walk you through that. If you need an ERISA attorney, we can help set you up with one. But yeah, we can also sign you up with a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or even a self-directed IRA. So I won't go into all that today because that gets pretty complicated, but maybe if there's some questions at the end about each of the differences between these and how they work when you're investing in Bitcoin using a retirement account, we can do that at the end. Next, it's important to know where to ask for help. You should seek advice from a tax attorney or your accountant when investing in cryptocurrencies. Not all tax attorneys or accountants are experts in this field, so it's good to find one that is. We can recommend some to you. And if you're using your family office or your trust to invest in cryptocurrencies, be sure to seek advice from your estate attorney. And next we have ERISA attorneys. So ERISA attorneys specialize in retirement law and retirement taxes. So if you're setting up retirement, a traditional IRA, Roth IRA, or self-directed IRA, it would be important to go through and seek the help of one of these ERISA attorneys. We at Cloud Nalu can link you up with some of the ones that we worked with in the past. And finally, you can get help from a reputable consultant or service provider. So hopefully I don't need to reiterate again, but Cloud Nalu is somebody who can help you, walk you through these types of investments. We're not an exchange that just tries to get you on board and get you to trade cryptocurrency as much as possible so we can collect every single fee on that transaction. We're really here to help walk you through how to do this safely and securely, and do it in a way where you can really hopefully pass on some of that wealth to the next generation, or use Bitcoin for your business or corporation. And yeah, we are a phone number you can call again, and we're happy to meet you even at your home to help walk your family through the process of investing or upgrading your money to Bitcoin. Here's a little photo screenshot of our platform. So again, you can sign up with us at cloudnalu.com and give us a call or reach out to us for help. We can do discovery calls with you where you can ask whatever questions you want, and we're happy to answer them. Again, we can offer our services directly to you, come to your home. We charge a per hour fee for that service. Yeah, I hope that you guys have learned a little bit more about investing in crypto. And again, I just want to remind everybody the importance of Bitcoin and what at least I believe it could do for Hawaii in general, being that it's a provably scarce digitally native asset on an open source monetary network. And that's a really important idea. And we're so happy that the state has allowed us to participate in helping people with their cryptocurrency and Bitcoin needs. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Liam. We have a little bit of time, so let's get through some of the questions in the Q&A. I know, Eli, you asked your first question on the B-Word conference. We'll get back to it once we get through the others, if we have time. So your other question, Eli, is why are some of the top currencies much harder to access or obtain than others? Some exchanges advertise a long list of cryptocurrencies that they support, but after signing up for an account, there are less coins available to trade. Are there US restrictions in play that prevent us from accessing certain coins?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are coins out there that not every state basically allows for their residents to accept, and this would be why some of them are listed and others are not available to you. Also, some of these exchanges, if you don't upload your ID and go through that process of KYC, then you may only have a certain amount of coins available for you to buy. Whereas if the exchange can verify yourself as a person, then you're able to buy more different types of cryptocurrencies. So those are reasons why they would list that. And secondly, I kind of talked about it, but the ability for you to actually withdraw the cryptocurrency to your own custody is not the same for every cryptocurrency out there. For example, in order to withdraw Ethereum to your own custody and truly own that Ethereum yourself, you'd have to run an Ethereum node and have an Ethereum-based wallet, which is really hard for most people, and that would be really costly to run that Ethereum node on Amazon Web Services or something. Whereas opposed to Bitcoin, you can run a Bitcoin node for less than 150 bucks, and you can have an open source wallet for free, and boom, you're controlling your own wealth on the Bitcoin network. And those are some of the differences to keep in mind when investing in other cryptocurrencies.
Great, thanks. Hope that answered your question, Eli. To your second question, if I create a self-directed Roth IRA and use it to invest in cryptocurrency, am I able to freely move funds between exchanges to invest in and out of the market? Or are there crypto investments within a self-directed Roth IRA limited to a set number of coins that the IRA provider supports?
Yeah, great question. Generally, you have to create an agreement for that self-directed IRA that could say that you are allowed to invest in any investments, number one, and that could easily be any cryptocurrencies. Now, when you're signing up for an exchange or brokerage provider using your self-directed IRA as the institution that you're signing up, that exchange or brokerage services provider might only have a certain amount or certain cryptocurrencies that you can buy, sell, and hold on that exchange. So Cloud Nalu, we only allow you to use Bitcoin as the asset for your self-directed IRA, but you could potentially create a self-directed IRA with our help, have us sign you up, onboard you to Bitcoin, and then withdraw your Bitcoin to another exchange that you signed up again with your institutional account, that self-directed IRA, and trade other cryptocurrencies as well. So with self-directed IRAs, the general principle is that you can invest in anything that could be qualified as an investment. And those can be alternative assets such as cryptocurrencies. But not all cryptocurrency providers allow you to invest in every single cryptocurrency out there.
Got it. Okay, next question.
Especially if they offer institutional grade accounts. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Next question from Colin. He's asking, say an individual sitting on mined coins with no existing relationship to an exchange, how do they go about trying to redeem their coins through the exchange?
Yeah, so most exchanges allow you to deposit your cryptocurrency. And even if you've mined that cryptocurrency, you just have to keep track of when you mined that and how you mined it and the costs associated with that to generate a cost basis for that cryptocurrency. So yeah, that would be my answer to that question.
Thanks. In being conscious of time, last question from Peter. Are you familiar with Uphold and is it safe? What about other similar all-in-one platforms? They are directly connected to a bank account.
Yeah, so I can't really offer my advice on any particular cryptocurrency exchanges. I would look at Uphold's reviews and go through their support site to look at each of those different questions that you should be asking on that slide that I presented, and hopefully you can easily find those answers on Uphold. Also, I'm not sure if Uphold is a Hawaii DCIL participant.
Oh, it is. It was admitted in cohort 2. So again, in the interest of time, we're just going to call it an end to the webinar today. Thank you so much, Liam, for your time and for everyone who joined us this morning.